Warning, warning, warning.
You're about to witness a seismic event.
This show and all others is brought to you by itspimpin101.net, so please pimp responsibly.
Hey. What's good with it, man? It's King Kelly O for the record, man.
And this is the one and only Composure, and you're now tuned in to It's Pimpin' Radio.
Yeah, dig. It's pimpin'. Yeah.
The topic of the night is hoe neglect, man. We're gonna talk about this thing because a lot of people, you got to come down to the basic premise, man, that we as P's we have because she gives, and she gives because we lead. You know what I'm saying? We teach. So it's a two-way street, man. This is not a one-sided affair, and the game is meant to be played together. So we need to go ahead and address this thing about this whole neglect, man, because a lot of this stuff is getting out of hand, and I firmly believe that a good portion of it has a residual effect of some of this, not all, but some of the I guess the renegade movement, if you want to call it that. I don't want to say it's a movement, but the whole renegade thing. I think a part of it has been facilitated through whole neglect, and that's not what this thing is really about. Now, before I get started, let's understand, man, that in no way am I talking anything that's not actually pimping. I'm talking about the basics by the book. I'm not talking about making deals and compromising. I'm not talking about the simping. I'm not talking about the Burger King shit. I'm not talking about, all this other crazy shit before you even jump out there with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm keeping it full-fledged and above board and what it really supposed to be. So, understand what it really is and be able to discriminate, reality from the fraudulent. You dig? So, we're going to talk about something that's official. Alright? Now, having said all that, first and foremost, let me make the statement that, it's a lot of things that goes down in the life. And a part of that is, this issue of whole neglect. And the reality is this. In terms of ladies of leisure, the females of this side of the equation, it's not all their fault. Okay? No. So we need to establish that. Now, that doesn't, absolve them from their, their own accountability issues, and we'll get to that as the night goes on. But it's not all their fault, and that needs to be understood, okay? Because it's too much one-sidedness in terms of, when people are discussing why things have fallen apart, or why why hoes are in particular predicaments, if you will, that just aren't, all that desirable. And the reality is this, man. Obviously, it's been some poor decisions on their part, but it's been some poor work ethics on our part, and it all needs to be acknowledged, and it all needs to be put out there so that we can kind of, get to the crux of what's really going on here, man. Now, obviously, one of the major components of this thing is what we call this mispimping that goes on. And that's, very much rampant in this day and age, because we have a lot of imposters, if you will. We have a lot of, fakes and what some would call simps. It's there, but that's there in every facet of life. It's not relegated just to the game. I don't care where you go, you're going to have some fake, fraudulent people. You're going to have haters, you're going to have all that. That's a part of life, okay? And it is up to us as true gentlemen of league, as stand-up men's men, to be able to separate ourselves from those particular characters. We need to be able to separate our lifestyle and our movement from that which I've just discussed. we as gentlemen of leisure should not only hold ourselves to a higher standard, but the game itself. And we need to conduct ourselves accordingly. So I'm not saying go out and chastise and criticize, because before you can do any of that, you got to have your situation intact. So we need to be first concentrating on what we're supposed to be doing as individual gentlemen leaders. That's number one. And we need to get back to that. See, a lot of people don't understand the significance of certain parts of this chosen field. It is a profession, and we need to bring the professionalism back to it. Now, I don't have a problem with, people doing certain things at certain times, because I believe there's a time and place for everything. Okay? Is it necessary, absolutely necessary, that at all times that you should be in a suit and a tie? I don't believe that. I think that you should be in a suit and tie. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But you don't have to adhere to that at all moments of the day. At the same time, if whatever you're in, it needs to have an element that will command some respect and show some class on your part. So that needs to be kept in mind as well. Now, are there going to be times where you're going to, feel a little leisurely and want to pull it down and more casual? Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. So that's something that I'm throwing out there, because, the thing is, a lot of times, if you dress the part, you'll feel the part and hopefully be the part. Now, I know for a lot of people that's going to go beyond their realm of understanding, but they can listen to the show over and over until they get it. So yeah, but that's one thing there. So understand that, man. What I'm saying is simply we need to separate the cream from the chaff, and the official from the unofficial, because a lot of what goes on when we start talking about whole neglect is from unofficial motherfuckers. I'm trying to tell you, because that's not really a part of the job. Now, there are instances where certain things happen that may, someone may want to deem or term as whole neglect, and it's not actually whole neglect. You understand? Hoes do have to earn certain things, okay? Certain things just aren't going to be just handed over. It's a process of earning some things. So for hoes, they need to understand that too. And I'll get more into that, as we move on. But first, I want to tackle, like I said, some of the individuals who are bringing this, BS to the table, and why we have to really discuss it. So as I said, man, you got the imposter, and that could be there's a lot of different ones that fall up under that banner. But I mean, in general, you got, your simps, and you just out and out like fakes, frauds. Okay, so you have those. Then you have, you have your misogynists, your women haters, and that's something right there that I don't think, to me, I mean, obviously, we haven't done a census poll on this or nothing. It's just something opinion. I might have a different opinion tomorrow. I don't know. But as I'm speaking right now, at this particular moment, I don't really believe that's in bulk. I don't think that they're like in the majority or anything like that. I think there's a minute section of misogynists in the game, but I don't think that that's the general. I don't think it's the bulk of individuals in the game are misogynists. I don't believe that. And there are some people who theorize that all P's are misogynists, but I definitely don't agree with that at all. But I do acknowledge that there are a number of misogynists in the game, and which are just some men who generally hate women. And I don't think that being a misogynist, that mentality, is conducive to the lifestyle. I really don't. I think that's, a train wreck is waiting to happen. That's what I believe. But to each his own. But a lot of ladies need to start to recognize red flags of that and do themselves a justice and a service by moving themselves away from that. Because to stay around that is to do yourself a disservice, and you're going to be a part of that train wreck. And more than likely, probably the worst part of that train wreck. So, if you're dealing with someone that's a misogynist, that's clearly a woman hater, do yourself a favor, separate yourself from them, and move on in life. And that's real. That's real. So, those, I think, when you really break it down, I mean, obviously we could segment it to minute characters, but really, I think if you really broke it down just to two, that's what you would have. You would have, A, your imposter, and B, the misogynist. I think these two individuals, which obviously would encompass all different types of individuals within them, but these two basic individuals right here are a major concern as far as a lot of negative ills in the game. You turn it up a little bit. How's that? Let me move on over here for a second, sir, and see if I can accommodate you real quick. Okay, how we sounding right there, sir Earl? Give me an update real quick. See if that sound is good. A little water. Okay, there we go. Maybe that helped out a little bit right there. A lot better? Okay. Cool. Alright, so basically, as I was saying, the two basic, I think, characters that really facilitate a lot of the negative ills in the game, especially when you talk about whole neglect and abuse, would be the imposter and the misogynist. Okay, so that's the thing right there. And I say, women who continue to stay around, surround themselves with those type of people, are doing themselves a disservice and injustice, and it will account for a lot of the problems that they experience in the game. So, when motherfuckers telling you about, not to be paying, that stop sign, stop paying them, go get you something official, someone that's real, someone that's really about this thing, that's really about this life, this game, and about doing things the way they're supposed to be done. Professional. So, leave the amateurs alone and get yourself a professional. And that right there in itself probably would eliminate the majority of the issues that most women have in this particular chosen field. Alright? So I need that needs to be understood right there. So stay away from the imposters, stay away from the misogyny. Now I know that's a little easier said than done. I understand that. Okay? Because, you may not be able to detect, which is which initially. Because I know a lot of motherfuckers that's official, get passed over with the, comment that they're not official. Because they don't fit the stereotypical. A lot of hoes just think it's not official because they've been, pretty much, they've been stigmatized through the media of what pimping is, and a lot of times they are confused and they go for the media version, and a lot of times that media version is just not really official. That's really more of the window dressing. Okay, so you gotta have a deeper understanding. And for a green hoe, she would know one way or the other a lot of times. So, but at some point in time, they have to use their natural intelligence and instincts and intuition, and come to a realization that hey, this is not right. This is not what it's supposed to be, and start making a quick decision for themselves to do better. So I understand you're not going to get it off the back all the time, but hey, Once the light bulb goes on, if this shit is not what it's, this is not the real shit, then, you need to go ahead and seek out something that's official. So that's just a word to wise to really combat and cut down on a lot of the problems that a lot of ladies are experiencing. Right there. That right there will probably eliminate 80% of your problems off the cuff. Alright, so that's that.
This is a
It's Pimpin' Radio.
exclusive.